Gardening is one of the most joyful and peaceful ways to spend time outdoors. In this video, we look at how to make your garden a place of ease, beauty, and joy, a space that suits your body and your life, not the other way around. Part 1. Redesigning the garden for comfort. Traditional gardens often expect a lot from our bodies. We're supposed to kneel, dig, carry heavy watering cans. But let's be honest, that's not always realistic. Instead of trying to keep up with a design that no longer fits, it's better to reshape the space itself. Start by thinking about distance, how far you need to walk between tasks. If you keep tools, pots, and the hose close to your main gardening area, you'll save time and energy. You can even rearrange flower beds so that the parts you love most are right by the door. Make your paths wider so they're easier to walk with a cane, walker, or cart. Add benches where you usually pause. Even placing a small stool near your most active garden bed makes a huge difference. This isn't just about convenience. It's about creating a garden that invites you in instead of pushing you out. When the space works with your needs, gardening becomes enjoyable again. Part 2. Smart tools that save energy. Gardening doesn't have to be hard on your hands, wrists, or back. Today's tools are lighter, easier to hold, and designed with aging in mind. Long-handled weeders let you pull up unwanted plants without stooping. Pruners with soft grips reduce the strain on your fingers. Some tools even have rotating handles that adjust with your movements. Electric trimmers and battery-powered shears can handle the tough jobs without tiring you out. You might feel unsure about relying on tools that seem too modern, but think of them like reading glasses. They don't replace your skills, they just support them. And they make it possible to keep going longer with less pain. Gardening should never feel like a struggle. With the right tools, it becomes something you look forward to, not something you recover from. Part 3. Raised beds that make gardening a joy. Raised beds are one of the best investments an older gardener can make. Instead of crouching or kneeling, you can garden at standing height or while sitting on a stool. This means less pressure on your knees and back, and more time enjoying the process. Raised beds can be made from wood, metal, or even plastic tubs. What's more, they allow you to control the soil better. If you've struggled with clay or rocky ground, a raised bed filled with rich, fluffy soil is a dream come true. Weeds are easier to spot and remove, and pests are less likely to crawl in from the ground. Some people even install trellises at the ends of raised beds to grow vertical crops like beans or cucumbers, making harvesting easier. Best of all, these beds help you think of your garden in sections, not one overwhelming space but smaller areas you can care for at your own pace. Part 4. The art of doing less, choosing easy care plants. When gardening starts to feel like work, it's usually because we're doing too much. That's where plant selection makes all the difference. Some plants demand constant attention: watering, pruning, pest control. Others thrive with hardly any help. Choosing the right plants for your area can save you hours of effort. Perennials are a great example. They come back year after year without needing to be replanted. Native plants, especially, are used to your climate, so they grow strong and healthy without much intervention. Ground covers like creeping thyme or ajaga help reduce weeds naturally. Shrubs like hydrangeas or spirea offer beauty without much maintenance. Instead of fighting nature, learn to partner with it. Let your garden be a place of ease, not stress. When you grow plants that do well with little fuss, you spend less time fixing problems and more time watching beauty unfold. Part 5. Gardening from a chair. Yes, it's possible. You don't need to stand or walk around to be an active gardener. You can tend to plants from the comfort of a chair, and do it with just as much care and success. Many people set up small container gardens on patios or balconies, arranging pots within arm's reach of a sturdy chair. Tabletop garden beds are another great option. These raised platforms are perfect for herbs, flowers, or even small vegetables. Vertical planters, which stack several layers of pots, also bring your garden to your level. Whether you're sitting in a lawn chair, a rollator, or even a wheelchair, you can still water, prune, and harvest with ease. This style of gardening slows things down in a good way. It gives you the time to observe, to notice a bud opening, a bee visiting, a tomato ripening. When you garden from a chair, you experience things with calm, not hurry. And that can be just as rewarding as any full day spent digging in the dirt. Part 6. Watering without worry, simple irrigation for seniors. Watering can be one of the hardest tasks for older gardeners. Heavy hoses, awkward watering cans, or trying to reach far corners of the yard. But the truth is, you don't have to water everything by hand. Drip irrigation systems are a game changer. They deliver water slowly and directly to the base of each plant, saving both water and energy. You can set them up with a timer so your garden stays hydrated even if you forget or need a day off. Soaker hoses work similarly and are great for flower borders or raised beds. 4 container plants, self-watering pots hold a reservoir of water and feed the roots over time. If you want the simplest solution, place a rain barrel near your garden and use a lightweight hose attached to it. It's eco-friendly and saves money on your water bill. The key is to make watering automatic or nearly effortless. Once that's handled, gardening becomes a pleasure, not a chore. Part 7. Peaceful paths and safe steps. Moving through the garden with ease. Safety is a huge part of enjoying your garden. Uneven paths, slippery stones, and steep steps can quickly become dangerous. But with a few thoughtful changes, your garden can become a space that welcomes you confidently. Start by widening walkways. Paths at least 3 feet across are ideal for walking comfortably or using a walker. Use materials with good traction like textured pavers or compacted gravel that won't shift underfoot. Avoid mulch or loose stones in walking areas as they can be unstable. Add handrails to any steps or slopes, and place solar lights along paths to improve visibility at dusk. It's also helpful to install edging along your paths so that garden beds don't spill into your walking space. When your garden feels safe to move through, you'll feel more relaxed and free to explore, linger, and enjoy the beauty all around you. Part 8. Create a rest corner, your garden retreat. Gardening doesn't have to mean constant movement. Sometimes, the most meaningful moments come when we simply sit and take it all in. Creating a rest corner in your garden, even just a bench under a tree, gives you a place to breathe, reflect, and enjoy the sights and sounds of nature. Think of it like a personal retreat. A cozy chair with a cushion, maybe a small table for tea, and a shady spot with soft wind chimes or a bird feeder nearby. If you enjoy reading, bring a book outside. If you love company, make space for a second chair. Rest is not lazy, it's part of the rhythm of the garden. Just like plants need pauses between growth, we need moments to pause too. A garden rest corner reminds you that it's okay to slow down. In fact, it's often where the joy of gardening deepens the most. Part 9. Grow what you love, gardening with purpose. One of the best ways to stay motivated in the garden is to grow things that truly matter to you. It could be herbs for your kitchen, flowers that remind you of your childhood, or vegetables that save you trips to the store. When you grow with a purpose, something you can use, share, or admire every day, your garden becomes personal and rewarding. For example, planting lavender or mint adds fragrance and can be used for teas. Tomatoes, lettuce, and radishes grow quickly in containers and taste better than anything from the store. If you enjoy sharing, grow extra to give to neighbors or local food banks. The joy of seeing someone smile when you hand them fresh basil or zinnias is worth every moment in the soil. Gardening with purpose gives you something to look forward to: a harvest, a gift, a memory. Turns work into love. Part 10. Share the joy, gardening with grandkids and friends. Gardening can be one of the best ways to connect with others, especially children. Kids are naturally curious and gardens are full of wonders. Bugs, flowers, digging, discovery. You don't need to plan anything fancy. Give a child their own pot and a few seeds, even just beans or marigolds, and let them watch life grow. Raised beds are great for little hands, and watering with a small can is a joy. You can also paint plant labels together or collect leaves and press them in a book. The garden becomes a classroom, an art room, and a place to make memories. And it's not just for kids. Invite a neighbor to have coffee among your flowers, or organize a small seed swap with local friends. Gardening is better when shared. It brings conversation, laughter, and stories. And in the quiet times, you'll know your garden has become more than soil and stems. It's a space filled with love and life. The garden grows with you. As we age, our bodies change, but the garden doesn't stop loving us. In fact, it meets us where we are if we let it. A good garden adapts with time. It doesn't ask for perfection, only attention. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to keep up with a younger version of yourself. All you need is the desire to grow something, even if it's just one pot on a sunny windowsill. Gardening is not a test. It's a friendship. It gives as much as you give it, often more. Whether you're planting tomatoes or just sitting beneath a tree, you're still gardening. You're still part of the great dance of nature. So take your time, trust your experience, and remember, the best gardens are not the biggest or the most perfect. They're the ones that make you feel at home.